Somewhere in Nepal, a woman straps on a pack before anyone else is awake. She checks the weather, checks her group, checks the route, and she leads. Her name is Mingmar Dolma Sherpa. She's a mountain guide, a co founder, and the person I walked more than 100 days across the Great Himalayan Trail with in 2024. Today, she's here, and we're going to talk about all of it: the trail, the training program we built together in Kathmandu, and the initiative we started to change who gets to lead in the mountains. I'm your host, Marinel De Jesus, and this is the Port of Voices podcast. Welcome back to the Porter Voices podcast. Today's episode is one I've been looking forward to for a long time because my guest is not just someone I interviewed, she's someone I walked across the country with. Mingmar Dolma Sherpa is a Nepali woman guide and co-founder of Himalayan Women Trail Leaders, an initiative we built together after trekking on the Great Himalayan Trail for over 100 days in 2024. In February of this year, we ran our first pilot training program in Kathmandu for women guides. What you're about to hear is our full conversation recorded over Zoom. After that, you'll hear Lhakpa Doma Lama, the youngest guide from our February training, in a conversation recorded by Mingmar herself. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the Porter Voices podcast. I'm so delighted to have this conversation with Mingmar Dolma Sherpa, who's the co-founder of Himalayan Women Trail Leaders. Mingmar, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, thank you so much.
Well, finally we connected. I know you've been busy for this season trekking. How was the trekking season so far?
Yeah, though there was lots of obstacles because of war and because of Zinji protest held in September, but now this season went well, but there was like a little bit effect in tourism because of the war.
Yeah, I mean, I was there when the war came, and luckily we got
Yeah,
our training done. And I
yeah,
was worried about my own clients, so definitely it affects the Nepal industry. In fact, some of my clients canceled this year, so I hear you on
yeah,
that. But I'm glad you were able to do some trekking and work during the season, so that's good for you.
yeah,
So I wanted to get to know you a little better. Obviously, I know you by now. We've met, I think, in 2023, like 3 years
yeah.
ago. And so, but for our audience, it's their first time meeting you. And like I said, you're the co-founder of Himalayan Women Trail Leaders. So maybe we can start out with talking about your background and where you're from. Can you tell the people who you are, where you grew up, the mountains? How did that all that start for you, this interest in mountains?
Yeah. So, for everyone, it's me, Mingmar Dolma Sherpa, and I grew up in the little village of Solukhumbu. It's called Garma. So, my childhood was grew up in a little village, and then when I need to go for school, I need to walk for like 1 hour from my home to school and back to my home 1 hour. It means like hiking every day 2 hours. So which inspired me to like being a guide.
And tell us about your family. Do you have siblings? How many siblings do you have? Who lived in the home? Your parents?
So when we were in childhood, we all lived together. I have like two elder sisters, my father and my mother. She is passed away. but still, my sisters now they are in abroad. Both of them are like in abroad, and I am the youngest one from my family, and I'm in Nepal, guiding in the mountains.
In your village, what is the name of your village in Solukumbu?
Sorry,
The name of your village.
it's Garma.
And how many people live there?
So it's a, little village. It's around like 50 people live in my village.
Oh,
Yeah,
50, 50.
yeah,
Oh, it's very
yeah,
small. Okay.
yeah.
In that area, did you know of another female guy?
So before I was a female guide, I had no idea that there is any female guide from my village, but it's very small. So yeah, in Nepal, there is like a division of mm, the so in Nepal there is a like different way of like division of the sector. So when I see the trekking industry, there are only few people who are get engaged from my village,
So, in terms
but
of
not the
sector,
female.
okay. So,
Yeah.
what kind of things do women do in your village? What jobs, if anything?
Some female they got involved in farming, and then some work as a like tea house owner, and some work as a like stay as a housewife. And then now there is a trend that now people, especially the young people from each and every houses, they started going abroad, because here in Nepal it's very challenged to get a good job. And then even if the young people they get the good job, they don't get any good salary. So that is the reason why now slowly the villages are getting empty.
Oh, wow. I mean, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I see that in other countries actually where I am, like in
Yeah,
Mongolia too.
yeah,
People are learning English and then they go outside the country to
yeah,
work. Yeah. I know for you, you mentioned that could be a possibility, but you had decided to become a guide. Why
yeah.
is that? What can you share why?
Um, my when I finished my plus two, I didn't have any idea about the guiding career. So later, when I joined my university and Bachelor in Business Studies, I got the free training from Nepal Mountain Academy. So Nepal Mountain Academy was providing female guide training in free of cost. So one of my friend, she told me that this training is happening with free of cost for female. And then I said, if it's free, I will just go and get the training, and then I will see how it will work for me. So when I went for the training, so I got lots of information about the trekking, tourism of Nepal, culture, religion, each and everything. And then later, uh, I was also working in NGO called Himalayan Care Foundation. So the guest and client from that organization came in my hometown, and then when I shared them that I this time I did my guiding training, and they said that why don't you guide us to Everest Base Camp? So at that time, they see me. Uh, how I work, and then they give me the trust. So, which makes me that why shouldn't I like try guiding in the Himalayas? And then they inspire me to be a guide. And then from that, I started guiding uh, in the mountains. So first, I started from my own region, which is called PK Peak. It's near in my region. So first I guided there, and then slowly I started like guiding other places too.
What year did you become a licensed guide?
Yeah. So first of all, I have never imagined to be a guide, as I have already told you that. But
Mhm.
after getting a training and getting into the tourism and having the knowledge of tourism and then its potentials and then later the trust from the people, and then I decided to be a guide.
Okay. So eventually you did get the license to be a guide, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So that came later, it sounds like.
yeah.
Ah, okay, got it. And so what year did you start guiding then?
So I started guiding in since 2019.
Okay, so it's about
Yeah,
7 years ago. Yes.
7 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I tell us about the experience being a new guide. How did you feel? And which trek did you do? Is it Peaky Peak first, the first one?
yeah. I did first pick a peak, like guiding my guest from Himalayan Care Foundation, which is NGO working in my own region. So that was my first guiding experience. So after trekking after getting training from Nepal Mountain Academy for 35 days, it was a great learning session from that. Beside that, it was not enough as well. So once you learn, or once you get the training, if you are not engaged in work, then until and unless you are not engaged in work, you will not know how it work, right? So after the training, I get chance to like lead the group to Picky Peak, which gave me the little bit experience of trekking and then little bit nervous also because that was my first trip. And then luckily I was working as an assistant guide, so I can watch my lead guide how he was working. So later I and then I work as a guide.
Great. So with the first trek that you did as a lead guide, do you remember which trek that was?
That was as a lead guide as well as I work as a translator also. When I joined Pema Treks, and then he gave me the opportunity to go with Robin Busted Die, and then at that time, like I was leading also, like I was like working as a translator also.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Actually, just for the audience, we both know Robin. So
yeah,
I'm just going to give context that Robin Boosted is a British person who came to Nepal and developed
yeah,
the Great Himalaya Trail. I
yeah.
didn't realize, Mingmar, that that was your first lead guide. I thought you were leading before that. So
Hmm.
yeah, so that's exciting. So basically, Robin hired you, or you were the lead guide on his exploration, right? He
Yeah,
explored an area.
yeah.
Which area did you explore?
It was in Rolwaling Valley. So
Ah.
there was some trail which was already built, but no one, no hiker, no any trekker was using that one. So we went to explore that place.
We were in Roaling. Where was it in Roaling? We didn't walk
That is
on it,
the
obviously. Yeah.
yeah, that is the another section of Rolwaling.
Ah, okay, okay.
Yeah,
So Robin actually introduced us. I got
yeah,
your name from him, which is how interesting how the world, the universe works. That and Pema, Pema now
yeah,
is family. I live with him all the time. So basically, Pema and Robin, you and me, and that's kind of how it connected. And
yeah,
so how was that experience? Because the funny thing is, Robin is a very experienced
yeah,
hiker, right? Like he's a develop
yeah,
he walked the Great Himalaya Trail already at that time,
yeah,
right? How
yeah.
when you found out about who he is and who you were gonna guide, what
Mm-hmm.
did you think about that? How did you feel?
So first, I had no any idea about the Robin. So
Ah,
later, when I was working with him, and then when I finished my trekking, the PMO told me that he's the one who developed like Great Himalayan Trail, and it was really a good pleasure to work with him. And So when I was like guiding him, instead of like more guiding, I was like also working as a translator because for guiding and all everything, he is like much more experienced. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So you didn't know that he was the
yeah, I didn't know.
GHD person. Maybe that's a good thing, right? Because you
Yeah,
would have been really, I would be scared, right?
yeah,
Like, did you just think he's just a tourist? Did you thought he was just a tourist?
yeah.
Or okay. Interesting. Did you want if you go back, would you have wanted to know or you didn't want to know that he did the GHD? So,
So later, I know that he did GST and he explored GST,
yeah.
and then yeah,
Okay. Wow,
mm,
that's an amazing experience as that's your first lead guide, right?
yeah,
Oh, that's amazing because I don't think you start out leading someone who walked the entire GHD. So, if you think about it, that's very unusual, Mingmar.
yeah.
That's amazing. That's really cool. So I wanted to then talk about after that, what was your next track? Because I think I might have you probably did a few before I met you, or but did I? Because I think I met you after that, right? But I don't know if you did
Yes.
other tracks.
So after that, I lead like most of the time I lead Everest Base Camp Trek and PK Peak.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah. Awesome. Now let's talk about the time we met. This was, I think, in 2023 that I
yeah,
started talking to you by phone, only by
mm-hmm,
online, because
yeah,
I got the reference from Robin and Pema.
mm-hmm,
Actually, Robin was the one who talked to me about you. And then I reached
yeah,
out to you and we had a little bit of talk. And just, to be transparent, I was talking to different guides looking for someone
yeah,
to do the GHD with me and you and a few other women were candidates for the trip.
mm-hmm,
And then eventually, I think I met you in person. I think we met in 2024, right? That was
yeah,
2024. Yeah. And then we had a meeting. I think that was the first time I talked to you about what the plan was, what the idea
mm-hmm.
was. Can you tell me how you felt about the idea of walking a long time on the GHD? What was your reaction when I first talked to you about it?
Um, so yes, after I got the idea of Great Himalayan Trail, actually Great Himalayan Trail is the section of higher mountain range in Nepal, which connect from east to west of Nepal, right? So
Yeah.
when I got the idea that you are going to do like Great Himalayan Trail, it was really inspiring for me. And then it is also a big opportunity for me. Though before I met you, I had completed a lot of training, which is very necessary for the guide. And then because of those training, I had already like build the confidence that I can lead whichever sections, even though I had not gone there. But when you came up with the with this idea, I feel that I applied for the first time, and then I wrote why I want to do this GST tracking with you, and then later I got selected because of my answers. You got me selected, and then I inspire more myself that somehow I need to do this Great Himalayan Trail. And then not only me, and just not only for me, because I want to inspire all the young women as well. So still, in Nepali society, there is like lots of cultural and society barriers for the women, those who want to work in outdoors. So for me, it might be one of the great opportunity to break the barriers and then give some examples for the women in the society.
Yeah, I agree. I want to talk more about the barriers because it's a very important topic. But I think for the audience, we mentioned Great Himalaya Trail. Maybe we can explain a little bit what it is. Let's talk about the experience. So we did decide to walk it together, and we started in Kanchenjunga. We did different routes. In fact, actually, before
Yeah.
Kanchenjunga, we did Chum Valley as a test
Yes.
run.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
was fun. I love
Yeah.
Chumbali. If you know, so that was our first time walking together, and
Yeah.
so it was a training. It was December 2023, and then
Yeah.
after that, we then I came back February 2024 when we started the whole like
Yeah.
plan, Kanchenjunga, and then we
Mm-hmm.
did Roaling, and then we did Makalu. You did Everest region, but I did a different alternate because I've done Everest before, so we did that split in that
Yeah.
the group that way. And you guided some of the tourists as well through my company, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And then you did Annapurna with a group and Manaslu with a client. So
Yeah.
just everyone knows it's a 1,700 kilometer route. It's the high route, and we did the non-technical sections, commercial sections of it. And Mingmar, you were actually working as a guide doing it, which is the
Yeah.
training part.
Yeah.
I think what makes this different from some of the things that people do with GHT is that you were doing it as a guide, as and me as a customer or like a client,
Yeah.
so that you're not just hiking it, but you're actually taking care of me as a tourist. So
Yeah.
you're actually training yourself to be a good
Yeah.
guide, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so 1,700 kilometer, we didn't do the whole thing. We did end up only doing up to Annapurna because Dolpa section is more complicated. It's a camping
Yeah.
track. We decided that part two will happen in the future because it is a bit more difficult, and we should bring more women and more
Yeah.
porters and guides to do that one. So that's the part two. So having said that, we spent a lot of time together, and I guess one question is like, how did you find that experience? Because obviously it took us about over 100 days
Yeah.
to finish that season from February to May with different, we have breaks in between, but it was a
Yeah.
long stretch. So share something about like what were the highlights, what were the difficult parts?
Mm-hmm. So for me, the difficult part is more like I was prepared well physically and then emotionally, but sometimes it's kind of like when you are guiding a new section for the first time, then you had no idea about those sections. So at that time, I need to ask with some local peoples or I need to meet some guys who were already there. But because instead of like asking and getting information also sometimes that is not enough. So if you want to be like face the real problem, then when you are on the trail, so at that time it was little bit difficult. So for example, when we were in Kanchenjunga, so we had no idea that the tea houses from Lonak and Khambachin and then Kanchenjunga Base Camp was closed. We have zero idea about all those things. And then later when we get to Kunsa, then we knew that the hotels were closed. So at that time, then we need to find someone who will go with us to Lonak, Khambachin, so that we can stay in their tea houses, right? So at that time also, I know you remember that we didn't stay in like big tea houses. We just stay
Yeah.
in the little shed with one bedroom side and then next another by side. And then in the middle there was a fire. So yeah, at that time, those are the main challenges I faced. And then even in same with the Makalo also. Yeah, when we
Oh
are
yeah.
like supposed to go in Makalo base camp, and they said that they are close till like 15 days, 20 days, and then at the time we need to change our plan because the tea houses there were like closed, and then if we need to take extra porters, then it was like extra expenses for us. So because we have like minimum budget and we need to work on minimum budget, right? So we need to change plan and then we need to go roll walling. So these are the few challenges we faced on the trail. But when you are working, so wherever you are working, you will face the challenges and then but at the same time you are getting a good experience and then a good opportunity for your future career.
I agree.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, Kanchenjunga is probably one of my favorite parts of it, to be
yeah,
honest. I mean, I did get sick. Don't you remember that part? I
yeah,
suffered I think it's because that was the very first high altitude, and my body was just like, actually, it did well. I climbed okay. It was the downhill that hit me. I think that's one thing I learned. Altitude sickness can hit when you're going down, that was
yeah,
unusual. But and obviously you had to also navigate the porter situation where
yeah,
luckily we had someone come and help us.
yeah,
But I agree. I think the shelter issue is a challenge, but you did really wonderful, Mingmar. I think the fact that you're very I think it's the troubleshooting and trying to solve problems. That's a big important
yeah,
part of being a guide. And I know that wasn't easy, and I wasn't easy either. Sometimes I go crazy because I'm like emotional or tired.
yeah,
So I know we've had a little bit of like, conflict here
yeah,
and there and misunderstanding, but I think that's part of the thing you have to do with the guide. You're with
yeah,
the person for a long time. It's a relationship. But I do love Kanchenjunga and staying in that shed, and the fact that
yeah,
I remember the fact that we changed our plans again. Remember, the Makalu
yeah,
was shut down, and we had to sell the groceries items, the food. Like I love
yeah.
that memory where we're like bargaining with the guy, and I'm like, how much for the rice and the flour? I was like, this isn't planned, So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's also tough as a tourist, to deal with the
Yeah,
changes. But both ways, it's tough, but it's fun. It's because sometimes it's the most memorable thing. I love going back and thinking about those moments.
yeah,
But I think you did really well connecting with the local people. I think that is the
mm-hmm.
challenging part, and I observe you along the way talking to locals and getting information. So I think
Yeah,
that's definitely a challenge for a lot of guides, especially if it's a new place, like you said, right? So.
yeah.
And what were some of the highlights? Like, share of the favorite moments. I know I thought kind of shared some of the favorite moments, but what was the highlight for you that time, that season?
So there was like lots and lots of favorite moment for me
Ah,
because every section when I was guiding, it was my first time. And then I am so grateful that you trust me and there was already a one big opportunity that you trust me. And then later, so after leading those all section, I got change in myself huge. So yeah, so beside that, my favorite section is like when we head to Kambachin and then it was cloudy all the way and then we went to the little shade and then later when we like come outside the mountain view was like the sunset
oh
view was so
yeah,
amazing and then you were so happy crying seeing the view of mountains like that was my favorite part of the trail and then beside that meeting with the local people and then talking with them and
yeah.
asking about the places and their culture and then it was also really a favorite part of my life.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I can think of all the moments, every section. Like rolling was really cool. I thought
Yeah,
bedding was beautiful. I did get a bit of a stomach flu there as well, but we stayed a little longer here and there. And the lake was very beautiful, even though
yeah,
it was a bit of snowy. It was snowy, and but you didn't really see the water, but that's okay. But it was like really beautiful. That was a nice moment. Makalu was great. It was a lot of
yeah,
climbing, but we didn't make it. We just we just had a lot of snow. I
yeah,
mean, it's memorable for that reason because
yeah.
some people got out by helicopter, but we walked back. So it's
We
like,
walked down. Oh,
yay.
I also
Yeah, we
remember
walked
that day.
down. Remember
Yeah,
that day? Like,
yeah,
remember we were like with a group that night. Everyone was at the dining area trying to figure out what to
mm-hmm,
do. Remember that? Like all
yeah,
I think Malaysian people or Thai people, I forgot, but there was like a big group who went on a helicopter the next day.
yeah,
Yeah, and then there were like all these other ones like, are we gonna go up or are we gonna go down? I
down.
mean, it wasn't the successful kind of trek, but I still remember that, and I thought it was just really cool to see people,
Yeah,
together. And then obviously we did what else did we did? The Chum Valley was gorgeous. I thought
Cambodia. Yeah,
that was such a beautiful trek. It was very nice.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So it was nice to go back and reminisce, and I'm happy that you learned a lot. Obviously the reason I did that was because I really wanted you to benefit as well as the way I benefited and gained something out of the experience. So it's nice to hear that you did. Yeah. So after that track, I guess we finished in May of 2024. And I think we kind of talk about like what's next. What do we do now?
yeah,
And I guess maybe you can kind of share now about why are we doing Himalayan Women Trail Leaders? Like I think we talked about it before during the trek that maybe
yeah.
we should have more women. But
Hmm.
can you kind of just share from your view, why do you think HWTL should be the next step after the experience that we had?
So yes, as you had told just now, that when we were talking, and then we were like talking about the situation of female guides in Nepal, and then not only female guide, even the situation of male guide in Nepal. And then at that time, we both realized that when we are like doing Great Himalayan Trail for like 110 days, and then they were only me doing that one. So we think that if there is like more women who will lead the future Great Himalayan Trail, not only me, other women as well. So from that way, our idea come with like giving just a training for women guide, which will motivate them, and then give experiences about the guiding in Nepal. So later, and when we are like talking about the training, and then uh, I think you are the one who came up with this idea, like to establish some organization and working for the like women. So I really appreciate that one. And then we also came up with the idea of what name should we give to the organization. And then thank you, Sophie, and especially you, and then who keep this name organization called Himalayan Women Trail Leader, so that the name of organization itself tell that what work um, will do it, right? So yeah.
Yeah, and I think like going back to what you said that you face barriers and challenges as women,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really the problem we're trying to solve. Because when I walk with you over 100 days, I knew you mentioned challenges that you
Yeah.
face, not just training, the lack of training, maybe finances, not being able to access training, but being the woman in an industry. Right now, it's only less than 10% women, so, can you share some of the experiences or challenges and barriers you face as a woman, as a trekking guide who's a woman?
So, as I belong to Sherpa community, I don't need to face the same challenges or society barriers as other females from other society, because some society still they don't let their daughters to go outside and then do outdoor walks. Still, they are facing a lot of problem. But it is for me, it is a great pleasure to be in Sherpa community. And then so in Sherpa community, uh, more Sherpa female are like powerful and empowered than male. So that's why I feel lucky. But still, as you had already said, that there is like less number of female guides. Like comparing with the past, we have like good number of female guide, but which is not enough. And then still because of like financial problem, they are not able to get uh, good training. Even though like there are lots of organization which are working For the female, especially with the outdoor section like trekking and then mountaineering, but still some female guides they are lacking their training, which is very necessary.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
and that's how Himalayan Women Trail Leaders comes in.
yeah,
Uh,
that's how we establish our organization.
And we'll talk a little bit more about that because we just had a training, the first one in
Yeah,
February, which is really amazing experience. I do want to add about the challenges because I did talk to other female guides as well, where some of them, they talk about like not being hired still and men are being hired.
yeah,
Because I think a lot of the operators, tour agencies are owned by men. That's one
yeah,
issue, right? So they tend to just bring men along and not think of women. And so it's a mindset issue where men still think like women don't do this job when there are female guides around. So the visibility is important. Like we need to tell them, hey, women do exist. In fact, with my company, well, because I work with PEMA, for example, sometimes PEMA doesn't even realize like there are more female guides than Mingmar, than just Mingmar.
yeah,
So I need to remind him there are other women besides Mingmar. She's not just the one and only. So, like, if we're looking at other guys just to do other treks because you're not available, I have to remind him there are other women. So I think the idea is that we need to let people know you exist, women exist, and also
yeah,
women, in society, in Nepal society, like you said, they're expected to stay home still, right? To
yeah,
take care of kids. That still is a reality for most of the women guides that the family doesn't approve of them leaving the home or being a guide in the mountains. So they're
yeah,
facing those challenges as well personally. It's a personal challenge with
yeah,
families, not even on the industry or trek itself or with the operator, but more with the family. Like you
with the
can't
family. Yeah,
even exactly right. Like I know we're going to talk about the training, but some of the things they shared in the training that I remember the most was stories about like if you go out there and do guiding, that's you have to stay and be married. And I think there was one story where the guide was she was asked to choose between being married and becoming a guide. I remember someone shared that story and I thought that was really amazing. Like,
yeah,
why are women not allowed to choose to do this job and be married and have a family?
mm-hmm.
So that's still real, right? I just
Yeah,
heard that recently from our training. But yeah, I think the nice thing is that with Himalayan Women Trail Leaders, we're getting together the women like we did,
mm-hmm.
and we started talking about these problems and challenges, right? So that we can
Yeah,
help each other figure out to solve how to solve the problem. But
mm-hmm.
yeah, but as a co-founder, Mingmar, why don't you share a little bit how it went on the 3-day training? What happened and how did it go from your view, the 3-day training that we had this past February?
Yes, the training was really wonderful. And then when I asked each and every participant personally, even we got the feedback, everyone was saying that it was really great training and they get to learn so many things about the trekking. And then not only in that one, and they learn about how to advocate for themselves, how to raise voice for themselves, so that no one can put them down. And then overall, it was not just a training, it was like connecting one female guide with another because they don't know each other before. And then when they come in training and they got to know each other and then connected with each other. And then beside that, when they hear the story of other female guide and then the younger female guide, they got more inspired by the elder female guide. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
then,
all this. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, and then like when people think that trekking is just going to the mountains and then hiking with your clients, not only that one. So beside hiking and walking, there is lots and lots of responsibility challenges you might face on the trail. So for young female guide, and they got the idea about what are the challenges they will face when they are guiding in the mountains. For example, not getting rooms during high peak season. So even when I was doing my Everest Base Camp trek, this time there was lots of people in the hotel, and then it was very hard for the female guides to get a separate room. And then it
Mm.
happens same with the Annapurna Base Camp as well. So at that time, even the female guides they need to like share or they need to sleep in the dining hall, and then with the safety concern also mm, not so safe. But what I believe is that those who are like in outdoor community, they are very friendly and then they are very positive. So it's very I will say that it's safe to be like even sleeping in the dining hall as well. So some people they have no idea that when there is no room, then they need to sleep in dining hall as well. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to talk about for the women to learn on the trail, right? Like,
yeah,
there's just so many aspects of being a guide. Like, you're also someone who's like telling stories to clients or sharing information, for example. How do you
yeah,
find that out? If it's your first time, it's very scary to do something attract like what you did with some of the Kanchenjunga when it was your first time. You didn't know what to do, you didn't know the community, you didn't know anybody there. So we're giving them the confidence. I think one thing that
yeah,
was to me the and just to give a context, the training is for 3 days. Back in
yeah,
February, the first day was leadership for the women. Second was safety and wilderness first aid training. And then the third one was leadership. And also,
mm,
we introduced them to the female guides from Kilimanjaro,
Kilimanjaro.
Pakistan, and Mongolia.
Yeah,
That part, I didn't expect that to be so powerful, but it was. A lot of the women
yeah,
on the evaluation loved that section. Maybe Migmar, you can share, tell us why, or what was your impression of that? What were the women saying? Why did they really, really remember that so much,
yes.
when we asked?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I just forgot to mention that one. That is one of the best section of our 3 days leadership training. So the female guide from the Nepal, they got inspired, and then when they hear the stories of guides from the different countries, and then different countries guides have their own challenges. They face kind of like similar challenges because everyone is in tourism, and then someone also got inspired by them because in Pakistan, like working outdoor is like not so normal. And
Yeah.
then Jeba, she shared her story, and then guides from Kilimanjaro, Morocco, and everyone was like sharing story from their side. And then the female guides from Nepal also got inspired by hearing their story.
Mhm.
And then even, yeah, they got so inspired.
Yeah, and I think we need to keep that conversation going because what's funny is that when I
Yeah,
talk to Bano from Mongolia and the Kilimanjaro, Lucina and Abla and Zeba from Pakistan, they all loved the conversation. They actually got
yeah,
inspired. So they themselves were like, I want to do this again. That was so inspiring. So
yeah,
I thought it was just an amazing way to like help each other out. And honestly, if we do the training again, I think we definitely have to do it again, right? Like, I think it's just
yeah,
really a good way to, to keep everyone in mind that it's not just, you're not alone. You're not alone. A lot of women
yes.
are facing the same challenges, and it feels good to feel like you're seen and heard, and someone else
Yeah,
understands you, right? So I thought
yeah,
I was really happy to see that. I'm looking forward to the next session with let's see who else we could find in terms of other mountains in the world. I was hoping I could bring
mm-hmm.
someone from Peru one day, but the problem with Peru is the time zone is very difficult. It's gonna be like middle of
Yeah,
the night for them. So we'll see.
yeah,
We'll grow our community. Yeah, and I think we even have like different ages that joined. The youngest was
Yeah,
16. I think Lakpa is the youngest, right? From the
yeah,
group.
she is the youngest one.
Okay. And I know that you had conversations with the women as part of the podcast, doing an interview. How was that for you, interviewing the women?
So yeah, for me, it was really happy to hear their experiences. So there are like, as you have told you the told you to as you have told that there are like different category of female guides. Some of them are young age, some of them are well experienced. So those who are like well experienced, they get to relearn again. And then those who are in the beginning phase, they are like just got introduced what the trekking industry means. And then, yeah, Lhakpa is the youngest one. And then even like looking at her, everyone was like got inspired because starting her career at a small age, it's really inspiring.
Yeah, and Lakpa, I believe, is 16 years old, if I'm not mistaken. She's only 16. So she has a lot more to experience. And then
Yeah,
we also have women who've been doing hiking and trekking for a long time,
yeah.
who also felt like they needed more support and help. So do you think the training was a success for the Nepali female guides, Mingmar? And what do you hope we do in the future to support the women?
Well, yes, this training was really 100% successful. And then I would like to thank Marinelle, Sophie, and then Sarah, and Dawasar, each and every one, those who are directly or indirectly engaging in our training. And then also um, the participants. If there is no participants, then we won't be able to do the training. So I would like to like thank you everyone that in future, if we go through the training, then instead of giving short training, we will focus on more practical training,
Yeah.
which will build uh, their confidence, and then and they will get to learn more about the trekking.
Yes, I agree. So this
Field
was our
experience, yeah,
yeah, field experience. I agree because this was
yeah,
just the start. Obviously, it's the first one. We wanted to
yeah,
get to know the women. We want to understand what they need. We did an evaluation of their experiences. So based on that, our plan is to do field experience, field training, more of
yeah,
that with classroom. And in fact, depending on our funding, because we're still looking for grants and sponsors. And if
yeah,
you're listening, please support us, our second training, because if we get enough money, we can take them to Kanchenjunga for 20 plus
yeah,
days for field training where Mingmar and I started. How exciting to go back.
yeah,
And Mingmar, you're going to go back to Kanchenjunga as an
yeah,
instructor, as a trainer. How about that? Like, that's quite amazing for you personally to become a leader for the
yeah,
women guides. I'm
yeah,
actually to be say, I just want to say, Mingmar, I'm actually proud of you seeing your growth.
yeah.
I,
Thank
I've
you.
been I was, like you started out as a guide and being trained on the GHD with me, working with you. And I didn't, when the training happened, I saw you instruct and teach the women and share your story and lead
Yeah,
and speak publicly and really organize organize the event with us. And I thought I think you really did, work on your leadership skills this past year or
yeah,
so, and I see that growth. So I really think you should be proud of yourself because I think you have been growing as a person. And
mm-hmm.
I feel like as your sister, or I guess, I don't know, I'm not your mother, but although I'm like at that age, I could be like your mother, but I would say as your sister, your
Yeah,
your fellow hiker, I'm really proud of you, your older sister. Yeah. So I hope you continue doing that. I think you would create a big impact on the women. So we need
yeah,
more of you. So we need more
Yeah.
of your expertise and leadership. So I also want to thank you for that because I don't think I'm not sure if I've ever had a chance to really say that
Yeah.
as we move forward to our next training. So having said that, I think obviously we're gonna learn more about the female guides to join our
Mm-hmm.
training because you interviewed four of them.
Yeah.
And so we will be sharing the next few episodes of the women's sharing their own stories.
Mm-hmm.
And Lakpa, I think, will be the one that we're gonna start sharing the story with after this conversation. Actually, we can
Yeah.
go ahead and share Lakpa's story quickly. She is the youngest, like we said, 16 years old, and she was a bit shy about doing this podcast. But I'm so proud of
Yeah.
her because didn't she kind of like opened up a little bit more? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
and I saw the translation of the Nepali interview, and I thought she did share something very nice like about her life, and so I'm really like excited to share her story. But before we do that, Mingmar, is there anything else you want to share with the audience? What are your plans for the next 10 years, and how do you see HWTL changing the industry and helping the women, or anything else you want to share?
Yeah. So, before like starting everything that I would like to thank Marinel for trusting me and then all my team members. And so I would like to like request those who are watching this podcast. I really want to request you to like donate us for the training. So you don't need to like donate directly, but also you can support us by joining our trekking in Nepal. And then this is how you can indirectly support us. And then, yeah, in 10 years, what I see is like Himalayan Women Trail Leader will be um, able to produce like more than 50, minimum 50 of female guides, those who are able to lead all the section of Nepal proudly. Yeah,
Oh, we have the same dream.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
and then my dream from the tourist side is
yeah,
female tourists, when they look for a female guide, they're not gonna get a
yeah,
no. They're gonna get
yeah,
a yes. Yes, we have a female guide for you. There's Mingmar, there's Lakpa, there's Mingma, there's Brickmaya, there
yeah,
will be more women now. And as a female tourist who want to do long distance trek, we can do it with a female guide. We don't have to be assigned a male guide. And,
yeah.
because when I first met you, Mingmar, before I met you, I thought I was not going to do the long distance because I couldn't find a female
Mm-hmm.
guide. You were the one and only that made my dream come true as a tourist.
Yeah,
So I also thank you for that. I'm always grateful because, to be honest, if I didn't find you, I would have moved on and
yeah,
say, I'll forget it. I'll just trek somewhere else. Or maybe I won't do the Great Himalaya Trail, right? So this is actually HWTL is not all about just the female guides. It's about the female trekkers, tourists who want to do
yeah,
long distance or want to do the 1700 kilometer with a woman, right? So we're solving that problem. So for both female guides and for me, who's a tourist. So it's a win-win. It's a win-win for all the women.
yeah,
So, okay. Well, thanks, Mingmar, for your time to chat with me. I know you've been very busy, and I'm really
yeah,
excited to share your interviews with each of the women. And yeah, so I think that's a wrap for now. And for everyone, just please stay tuned because Lakpa's interview is coming with Mingmar. And until next time, we'll see you again. So thanks, Mingmar, for your time.
yeah. Thank you so much.
What you just heard was the beginning of something, a trail walk, a program built. Four women sat down and asked to tell their stories. Mingmar did those interviews herself because that's what a leader does. She doesn't just open the door, she walks through it with you. The first of those interviews is Lakpa. She's the youngest guide from our February training in Kathmandu, and she has things to say. This conversation was conducted by Mingmar in Nepali. What you'll hear next is Lakpa and Mingmar speaking the English translation of their interview.
My name is Lhakpa Doma Lama. I'm from Solukhumbu and I have completed my plus 2 and I live with my uncle in Gokarna.
What are you doing these days?
Yes, I recently completed my plus 2 but I haven't been able to join my bachelor's studies yet. So right now I have some free time. I have been attending Chinese language classes and also participating in different training like this one.
So when did you take your trekking guide training?
I took the trekking guide training just recently around November. After that, this is the next training I joined.
So how did you find this 3-day women's leadership and guide training?
It was very fruitful and really good. I got the opportunity to learn many things. It was inspiring and I learned a lot from seniors and experienced people.
So what kind of things do you learn here?
I learned about the problems trekking guides may face, how to deal with challenges, how to make decisions independently, and the importance of being confident. Overall, I learned many valuable things.
So which part of the training did you enjoy the most?
Honestly, all parts were good, but I especially liked the sessions where we got to interact with guides from outside Nepal. Listening to international guides talk about the challenges they face in their own countries was very interesting and inspiring.
So you also got to know that the information international guides also face problems in their professions in their country. So what motivated you to take this training?
After completing plus 2, I was free in the village. Instead of just sitting idle, I thought training would be better. At first, I didn't know much about this field, but when I heard about the training, I joined it. After attending, I became really interested in this field.
So what are your future plans?
I want to pursue my bachelor's degree in BMS and continue in this field. In the future, I also want to become a mountaineer.
So while attending this training, was there any person or story that inspired you the most?
One of the people who inspired me the most is actually you because you are from my village. There aren't many people from our village involved in this field. My uncle has also supported me a lot. He always tells me that this field has a good future and encouraged me to continue. His guide friends also motivate me and said that this profession has great opportunities, especially for girls.
So you saw opportunities and scope in trekking, guiding, and that's why you became interested.
Yes, exactly. I became genuinely interested in it.
So yeah, there are many beautiful places in Nepal. So which place would you most like to visit?
I still don't know much about many places because I'm still studying and learning. But among some of them, I really want to visit Everest Base Camp and see Amadablam. I have heard so much about it, so I really want to go there someday.
So when you take this kind of training to become a trekking guide, What kind of response do you get from your family?
They also support me to take these kinds of training. It's a good field. Before they used to say you should study, and after grade 12 everyone goes to abroad to earn money. But my uncle said rather than going abroad, we can do something in our country.
Oh, it sounds you have strong support around you. So during this training, did you feel any personal changes within yourself?
Yes, definitely. I learned that when we work and travel with others, we continue learning from experienced people. We should always keep learning and also share what we know with others. This training taught us about the possible problems we may face and how to handle them. Now I feel that if something unfair happens, we should raise our voice, speak up about problems, and never give up.
In the future, how would you like to invest in yourself within this trekking field? So, what other training would you like to take?
Since I have already started trekking training, I think first aid training is very important in this field. I am currently looking for the opportunities to take first aid training. Besides that, I want to take any training related to this field if I get the chance. I also plan to continue studying in this subject because I believe studying more will help me learn a lot.
Do you have any suggestions? Is there anything you think could make training this even better?
I don't know much yet, but if there are more training happening, it will be great if the information reaches more people. Also, I hope these kinds of opportunities become inclusive, where both women and men can equally participate and learn together.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So today we had a short conversation with one of the participants of the Himalayan Women Trail Leaders 3-day leadership and guide training program. In the coming days, we hope to continue meeting and interviewing different women guides and porters from the Himalayan region. With that, I would like to end today's episode here. Thank you. Namaste.
Mingmar Dolma Sherpa and Lhakpa Doma Lama, two women from Nepal, one trail, one training room, one initiative that's just getting started. If this episode moved you, share it, tell someone about it, and if you want to support the Himalayan Women Trail Leaders initiative, you can find us online. The mountains have always known who belongs on them. We're just catching up. Tune in to our next episode where we share another story from one of our Himalayan Women Trail Leaders. Thank you for listening to the Port of Voices podcast. I'm Marinel De Jesus. Hanggang sa muli. Until next time.